It's Ronnie-Ward from the Ditmas section of the Flatbush neighborhood, Brooklyn, in the city of New York. And this is a video that I posted to my YouTube channel at Ronella Wardrobe today. And it's entitled Venezuela, Marco Rubio, U.S. Secretary of State, Western Hemisphere, Spheres of Influence, Religio-Geopolitics. So what's interesting here is that by opening this up and going down here, I can use the AI function on YouTube to read an AI-generated summary of this 2-minute and 23-second interview. Summarize the video. Here's how AI on YouTube summarized the 2-minute video that I made. The video discusses a deal involving Marco Rubio and the potential sale of 30 to 50 million barrels of Venezuelan oil currently under sanctions. The proceeds from the sale would be managed by the United States to benefit the Venezuelan people, not the current regime. The speaker, now that's me, Ronnie-Ward. The speaker also touches upon the idea of Donald Trump's Donroe Doctrine regarding the spheres of influence in the Western Hemisphere, specifically mentioning a hypothetical snatch and grab of President Maduro and shipping him to Brooklyn. The video suggests this move is part of Trump's agenda to solidify his legacy and potentially run for a third term, non-consecutive term, which the speaker, that's me, believes would be litigated at the Supreme Court. The video concludes with the speaker introducing himself and the date. And then they had questions. What is the Donroe Doctrine? Only based on what's in this video. The Donroe Doctrine is a term coined by Donald Trump. Now, this is me, what I talked about. Marco Rubio didn't talk about this. The Donroe Doctrine is a term coined by Donald Trump to describe his position on the sphere of influence doctrine. The speaker, that's me, Ronnie-Ward, in the video, contrasts it with the traditional Monroe Doctrine. The term Donroe is a portmanteau combining Don, referring it to Trump himself, and Monroe from the Monroe Doctrine. While the video doesn't provide a detailed explanation of its tenets, it implies that it involves asserting United States influence in the Western Hemisphere, as exemplified by the hypothetical scenario of snatching Venezuelan President Maduro and bringing him to Brooklyn. What is Trump's Western Hemisphere goal? According to the video, what I said on this video, Donald Trump's Western Hemisphere goal is to move forward his agenda through military power and the executive function of the Constitution. The speaker, that's me, Ronnie-Ward, claims this is to solidify his legacy and his presidency and to provide himself and to position himself to run for a third term. Venezuela is highlighted as a key country in this context. Question: what legal loophole is mentioned? The video mentions that the Constitution's amendment regarding presidential terms states 2 consecutive terms. The speaker, Ronnie-Ward, suggests that this wording implies it doesn't talk about a term, a gap, and a term. Therefore, the supposed loophole is the absence of a clear prohibition against non-consecutive third term, leading the speaker, Ronnie-Ward, to believe it would be something to be litigated at the Supreme Court. What is Rubio's leverage aim? According to the video, Secretary of the United States, Marco Rubio, is involved in a deal to take 30 to 50 million barrels of sanctioned Venezuelan oil and sell it in the marketplace at market rates. The aim of this initiative is to control how the money from the oil sale is dispersed, ensuring that it benefits the Venezuelan people rather than being used for consumption or by the current regime. The speaker states this gives a lot of leverage to move on the stabilization front. What is Trump's power strategy? According to the video, now this would be based on my comments, Donald Trump's power strategy involves moving forward his agenda through military power and the executive function of the Constitution. The Speaker, Ronnie-Ward, states that this is done to solidify his legacy and his presidency and position Trump to run for a third non-consecutive term. How is Trump's agenda implemented? According to the video, based on my comments, Donald Trump's agenda is implemented by moving forward through military power and the executive function of the Constitution. What is the video's date? The video states that it was recorded on Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. What influences Trump's Venezuela policy? Now, this would be based on my comments. According to the video, Donald Trump's Venezuela policy is influenced by his Donroe Doctrine, which is his version of the sphere of influence doctrine. The speaker also claims, i.e. me, Ronnie-Ward, that Trump's moving forward Trump's agenda through military power and the executive function of the Constitution to solidify his legacy and his presidency, and possibly to position himself in 3 years to run for a third term. So here's Ronnie-Ward from the Ditmas section of the Flatbush neighborhood showing you how, just from a short video and a few comments that I make, how AI and YouTube is an aid to help explain the work that I've been doing. And that's what this video documents. So the video whole thing is 2 minutes and 23 seconds, and I'm going to watch it from beginning to end here at the end of this video. Here we go. Secretary of the United States, Marco Rubio.
In the midst right now, and in fact about to execute on the deal to take all the oil. They have oil that is stuck in Venezuela.
Talking about Venezuela.
Because it's sanctioned. We are going to take between 30 and 50 million barrels of oil. We're going to sell it in the marketplace at market rates, not at the discounts Venezuela was getting. That money will then be handled in such a way that we will control how it is dispersed in a way that benefits the Venezuelan people, not corruption, not the regime. So we have a lot of leverage to move on the stabilization front. We are in the midst right now, and in fact about to execute on a deal to take all...
Okay, so here we go. Venezuela. Regarding the recent abduction or the recent snatch and grab of President Maduro and shipping him all the way to Brooklyn in New York City. So this is Marco Rubio articulating Donald Trump, the 47th president, position on the spheres of influence doctrine that Trump himself called the not Monroe Doctrine, but the Donroe Doctrine, for him being the Don. I'm not going to get into the analysis right now, but Venezuela is a key country in the Western Hemisphere and moving forward Trump's agenda through military power and the executive function of the Constitution to solidify his legacy and his presidency, and I believe position himself in 3 years to run for a third term. How can he run for a third term, you might ask? Because doesn't the Constitution say 2 terms? Yeah, it does through an amendment, but it says 2 consecutive terms in the amendment. It doesn't talk about a term, a gap, and a term. So it'll be something to be litigated at the Supreme Court. And my guess is he's going to try to run for a third term. Ronnie-Ward from the Ditmas section of the Flatbush neighborhood, Brooklyn, in the city of New York. It's Tuesday, the 13th day of January, 2026. Okay, so there you go. A video that I made. It was a reel of Marco Rubio, and I shot a video of the reel and made a commentary. Then posted that 2 minutes up to a YouTube page. And then used the summary function AI on YouTube to provide additional information about the video. And then at the end, showed you the whole video that was the 2 minutes in the context of this video that I'm making that's almost 15 minutes long, to show what the summary function would do and how it is that I've been working to master these tools to assist me in returning to Union Theological Seminary in the fall of 2026 and to graduate by May of 2027 with my Master's of Divinity degree. And these are all the modern tools that are now available because of artificial intelligence and AI and summarizing functions on these platforms.